going from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to yet another Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. I am your host, Jolie St. John, and I'm coming to you live from the Port Mall in downtown Scarborough, Tobago at just about 6:55 a.m. Now, we at Tobago Updates know that our viewership spans all corners of the earth. So at this time, I want to take the opportunity to shout out all our viewers who are locally and regionally viewing on the platforms Digicel, AMPLIA and Flow, or maybe those of you right here and internationally who are viewing our program on YouTube and Facebook this morning. Wherever you are and on whatever you may be viewing us on, we want to say good morning. Welcome to the show today and thank you for choosing Tobago Updates to start your day. Now today is Wednesday the 5th of August 2026 and as I mentioned before, it is Youth Wednesdays. In fact, it's the first Youth Wednesday of the month and the first Youth Wednesday of the new half of the year. So we're celebrating a lot of firsts, but even as we celebrate the progression of time and these new changes, we remain committed to bringing you those fresh youthful perspectives and those inspiring conversations happening right here on our morning show. But before we get any further into what's happening this morning on our morning show, we remain committed to keeping you, our viewers, informed on what's happening in our Tobago space and what's making headlines nationally. So at this time, we move to our news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. Police continue to investigate a violent home invasion over the Emancipation weekend, where two armed, masked intruders forced their way into the residence of the owner of Pablo's Supermarket in Argyle. The assailants bound the owner with an electric cord, stole over $203,000 and escaped on foot. Officers from the Tobago Division urged the public to share any information about the robbery. Lambo Credit Union has unveiled its newly elected board of directors and statutory committee members following its 80th annual general meeting held on July 23rd at the Food and Nutrition Cooperative Society in Canaan. Brian Nurse was elected president, supported by Vice President Jason Caesar, Secretary Vanessa Roberts, and Assistant Secretary Keston Williams. Leadership expressed gratitude to members for participating as the credit union transitions to its new leadership team. Finally, the Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Jaylene John, has confirmed that the operational opening of the new terminal at the ANR Robinson International Airport is imminent. Minister John noted that final operational adjustments and civil aviation notices were being finalized ahead of simulated passenger flow exercises. The new facility was designed to expand international capacity, improve regional air travel efficiency, and significantly enhance passenger experiences in Tobago. And that brings us to the end of our news in 90 seconds. Tune in again at 6:30 p.m. for a full newscast. And viewers, we can all tell and agree that a lot is happening in the Tobago space. We have the negatives, of course, which we continue to pray over our island and our country, but of course there are the positive happenings. Things are looking bright on the horizon for our island. And as we speak of positivity and we are in a celebratory mood this morning, we want to move over to our birthday segment. It's a must that we at Tobago Updates celebrate with our viewers. And first on our birthday list, we have Miss Natasha Chapman. From the entire Tobago Updates show, we want to wish you a happy birthday this morning. We hope and we pray that you enjoy your celebrations today and that today is filled with love, appreciation, and that you are showered with gifts and blessings. Our next celebrant this morning is Miss Tanya Richardson. Again, from the entirety of the staffing population at the Tobago Updates Morning Show, we want to wish you the happiest birthday possible. We hope that you are celebrated in a fitting way, that you feel loved and appreciated, and that God continues to bless you in a long life. Our next celebrant is Miss Jenny Campbell, a very popular and promising youth here on the island of Tobago, and as she continues to represent our island well, we want to wish her a happy birthday and many more years of blessings, prosperity and success ahead. Our last celebrant this morning is Mr. Kwamina Payne. Again, the entire Tobago Updates team wants to wish you a happy birthday. We hope that you are celebrated today, perhaps for the week, maybe even the entire month. We hope that you enjoy all the celebrations that this milestone has to bring. And although we have come to the end of our birthday list, for any of you who may be celebrating a birthday today and missed your chance to be shouted out, please do not forget that you are free to send us a message, shoot us a picture, send the name of a celebrant that you would like to be shouted out here on our program, and we will celebrate with you. And not just those of you celebrating birthdays, but we also want to extend greetings for those of you celebrating any other milestones. We recently had graduations, we have anniversaries, and any of you who may not be feeling particularly well this morning or dealing with grievances in your family, we also want to send our warm regards to you from the Tobago Updates team. Now, we have had a bit of introductions for the morning thus far, and we want to take a break at this moment in time. But before we go to the break, we are to do our rundown. We are to let you know who is in store to be on our program this morning. Our first interview just after we come back from this break is going to be with Mr. Zishon Lovelace and Mr. Kaysan Abdul Wadood, and they are both representatives from the Bishop's High School Students' Council. Following these gentlemen, we have Mr. Sheldon Salino, officer in charge at the Director's Office, and Miss Simone Mitchell, manager of the Tobago campus of the Cipriani Labour College. And our last interview is going to feature Mrs. Coris Archer Kwashinansis, technical advisor at the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries, and Ms. Trevicia Phillips, marketing officer at the division. So the discussions ahead are diverse. We have a lot of topics, of course, relating to youth, so we look forward to hearing these inspiring conversations. Viewers, to ensure that you don't miss anything, stay tuned to our program, and remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Our world is filled with rhythm. Rhythm that's unapologetic, infectious, timeless. Rhythm is commitment in action. It's how we show up for each other with unrelenting support that goes the distance. Rhythm lives in the tiny beats of our most intimate moments and the seismic roars of our biggest achievements. Rhythm is resilience in motion. So even when things go out of sync, we do what it takes to bring the rhythm back. At Flow, we understand your rhythm because we live it. That's why we're dedicated to building a network as resilient as you, with a team of familiar faces working every day to keep you on beat. You're at the heart of everything we do, and our commitment is to keep your rhythm flowing, no matter what.
Where are going? Airport.
Come back this way. Catch you roundabout and go down.
Right here.
Leave on time to be on time.
Today we are here at the new A&R Robinson International Airport, and we are doing a simulation along with the Airport Authority and the TTPS to do some observation for the traffic plan that we have implemented for the opening of the new terminal building. So starting Wednesday, July 22nd, the Division of Public Infrastructure and Transportation along with the TTPS will be at this intersection, and we will be implementing a traffic plan. Just continue around the circle. What is important in this entire traffic arrangement is that if you are coming from Crown Point, you're coming from the west and you want to go further east than the airport terminal, we advise that you either use Milford Road, go onto Silcotton Trace, and use one of the side streets between Milford Road and Tobago Local Road. All traffic between Kilgwin Bay Road and Gaskin Road will be coming west only. So that is one of the important points that we have to get into our systems as we learn to navigate around the new arrangements at the new A&R Robinson International Terminal going forward. But we want to assure you that we will help you to get used to it. We will circulate information. We will be here at the intersections along with the police while you get used to the arrangement to assist you in circulating and to getting to where you need to go safely and quickly.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success, Caribbean Passport TV, your guide to what's happening in the region, here on this station.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show. As promised, joining me in studio, we have Mr. Zishon Lovelace. He is the president of the Bishop's High School Students' Council, seated on my right. And beside him, we have Mr. Kaysan Abdul Wadood. He is the secretary of the Students' Council. And you may be wondering, what are these young men joining me to discuss this morning, especially given the fact that school is currently not in session? For those of you who may have missed it, the Bishop's High School Students' Council recently held its app launch. Yes, you heard me very correctly. They would have launched their very own app. So to discuss with me this very innovative initiative, we have our Student Council President and Secretary, who is also the app creator. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome to Tobago Updates.
Good morning, Jody.
All right, so for the viewers who would not have heard about the app launch, I want to pose the very first question to Kaysan. You would have created the app. Tell us, what are the intricacies of this platform? What was the purpose it was made to serve, and how will students benefit from what you have created?
Okay, so I'd first like to start with how it came about. So our council advisor, Ms. Griffith, told us that the council should develop an app and then I was tasked with the assignment to build this app. And in preparing this app, I thought about the things that students would need, the struggles that they may face, and the things that I could do to help them. So the purpose of this app is to connect students, is to provide them with resources, to provide them with a means by which they could have a voice their concerns. And the app actually has many sections. One of the sections is the announcement sections, where announcements would be made, where important details would be shared there. It has an event section. It has a council member section, where myself and Mr. Zishawn Lovelace will be featured there. Before I continue, I would like to thank you, Miss Julie St. John and the Tobago Updates, for hosting us this morning. It's a great pleasure to be here. Alright, moving on, there is the social media section where the social media links will be posted. There's the memory section where students can view images and videos about the many historic events and the very scenic situations that happen in school. And my favorite section personally is the study resource section. Why is this my favorite section? Well, it has many resources. It has past papers, it has study guides, online video tutorials, and it has a featured game mode. Now, this game mode is very important to me because sometimes the past papers and all these resources can be very hard for students to sometimes commit to. So the game mode is a way the students can connect with each other, they can play together, it has a lot of tailored content based on the syllabus, it goes through different subject areas and the topics in those subjects. It also has external links where students can get access to many resources. And there's other features in the app, there's many features in the app. So this app was built to connect students. It's a means by which they can be heard and they can learn better and ultimately achieve their goals.
Right. So, Mr. President, I am sure that working on this project would have either helped shape or maybe even changed your perspective on student leadership. You are heading the student council body, and your role most of the times is to bridge that gap between the student body and administration of the school. So tell us, how did this project go from just being an idea or an assignment that was given to you by your council advisor, Ms. Griffith, into a project that actually stands and is operational today? Tell us, what role did you play in this entire journey towards making this app a reality and a success?
Thank you, Julie. Well, first and foremost, I would just like to thank our school administration for supporting this innovative initiative, because yes, we can come up with our ideas, but we ultimately have to go to the school administration for their approval. So I know they will be viewing this morning, so I would just like to say a special thank you to them for approving this initiative, right? And I must say that this entire initiative wasn't just the work of any one person. Everyone was involved. So all our council members, whether it was an executive member, whether you were a class senator, everyone had a role to play. And that was essential for us in delivering this successful project. Because not only did we create the app, we were also able to successfully launch it in our very own ceremony. And each member of our council had a role to play. So as the president and as the leader of the council, I would have ensured that I delegated tasks to the respective members. I ensured that I motivated the members, reassuring them that once we put in the dedicated time and effort now, in the end, it will all be successful. And indeed, it was successful.
It was. And both of you, as you worked on this project, I am certain that at least one point in time, you may have thought to yourself, this is a very mammoth task. It may not have seemed impossible, but it was definitely a challenge and something that took a lot of time. So tell us, both of you and your entire council, how were you guys able to work together collaboratively, especially given the demands of school itself?
Well, one thing I must say is that in the council, we have a connection to each other. So when we are working on these initiatives, we already understand how each other's work ethic is. So it wasn't hard getting along with each other to work on this initiative.
I would say that although it had many challenges, both technical and with organizing the event, we was able to pull through with our communication. Any problems that I had, I told the president, and I made it clear to him that I would try in my best efforts to make it work. I had errors with, the code sometimes, things not working, and he had errors sometimes with even technical things with the projector for the next day that we have to present. And through communication, through dedication, and through contacting the relevant parties, we're able to handle the situation.
Okay. And I know one of the questions the viewers would be concerning longevity. How is this project aimed to be sustainable? How can future student councils contribute towards this app?
Well, one thing we do in this Bishop's High School Student Council, we ensure that as we lead, we ensure to mentor younger students. So we know we wouldn't be here forever. And we want the app to be sustainable, and we want it to be a long-term initiative. So we would ensure to mentor the younger students coming up, ensure to pass on the knowledge and the wisdom needed for them to operate the app in the future, to ensure that 10 to 20 years down the road, we could come back to the school and see the app still functioning.
And Kesan, you were involved in actually creating the app, and I know some of the viewers are wondering, how were you able to do this? Because sometimes technology is something like, it's so much of a mystery to us. So tell us where your passion and your involvement in app creation and technology on a whole would have stemmed from.
Okay, so since I was small, I was very interested in inventions, creating new things. And one of the things that stood out to me was how people could innovate and connect people through different platforms like Google, Facebook, etc., etc. So I wanted to have my impact on the school body specifically. So this app was not just because Ms. Griffith said this. This is from inside innovation, and obviously innovation starts with the mind, creativity. So in my mind, I knew that, well, just putting this there, I want to be a mechatronics engineer, so dealing with robotics and technology. So I knew that this would be a great challenge and a great foundation to start to go towards that path. This project was very instrumental in giving me that leeway that I needed to leverage to get to that part.
And you spoke about all the features that students can access and engage with on the app, but tell us, how exactly can they get access to these things, as well as parents and teachers who may be interested in utilizing the app as well?
Excellent question. So the link will be posted in the community chat, and there's also a QR code. And I would also like to mention on our Instagram and Facebook page at Bishop Student Council High School Tobago, they will be posted a tutorial on how to download the app. And in the app, actually, when the link is pressed, there's an install button where people can install and to be on their phone.
All right.
Yeah.
Yes. So as we seek to close off this interview, I want you guys to end by giving any shout outs to anyone who may have been extremely instrumental in you successfully creating and launching this app.
Well, first and foremost, I would just like to thank the entire council, because as you know, the local Creole saying of one hand can't clap, meaning that one person can't lead everything or do everything when it comes to these initiatives. And I would have mentioned before, it was the efforts of all of us. So I would like to say special thank you to those viewing from our council for their support in ensuring we were able to successfully launch this app. I would also like to say special thank you to our student council advisors, Ms. Lisa Mary Griffith and Mr. Nikosi Fletcher. And a special thank you to the school administration led by Ms. Sydney Ramnarayan, our beloved principal, and Mrs. Debbie Charles Jordan, our acting vice principal.
All right.
Okay, so as Zijuan said, I want to thank all the council members. I want to thank all the school administration. I want to also thank our advisors for giving us the freedom to be able to be creative and innovative. I also like to thank the Lord. He was instrumental in this, and I would thank everyone for being a part of this.
Right, a very commendable initiative, and we are all proud of you. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us this morning. It was a pleasure to host you, and we hope to have you back soon, hearing about all the other initiatives that the Student Council has planned in the future.
Thank you, Julie.
Definitely.
Viewers, that brings us to the end of this interview, but of course we have a lot more in store for you. So be sure to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Wait, we are going airport.
Come back this way. Catch you roundabout and go down.
Right here.
Leave on time to be on time.
Today we are here at the new AMPLIA Robinson International Airport, and we are doing a simulation along with the Airport Authority and the TTPS to do some observation for the traffic plan that we have implemented for the opening of the new terminal building. So starting Wednesday, July 22nd, the Division of Public Infrastructure and Transportation along with the TTPS will be at this intersection, and we will be implementing a traffic plan. Just continue around the circle. What is important in this entire traffic arrangement is that if you are coming from Crown Point, you're coming from the west and you want to go further east than the airport terminal, we advise that you either use Milford Road, go onto Silcotton Trace, and use one of the side streets between Milford Road and Tobago Local Road. All traffic between Kilgwin Bay Road and Gaskin Road will be coming west only. So that is one of the important points that we have to get into our systems as we learn to navigate around the new arrangements at the new AMPLIA Robinson International Terminal going forward. But we want to assure you that we will help you to get used to it. We will circulate information. We will be here at the intersections along with the police while you get used to the arrangement to assist you in circulating and to getting to where you need to go safely and quickly.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success, Caribbean Passport TV, your guide to what's happening in the region, here on this station.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships. It's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
On the 9th of August, we'll be having our first annual 5K, and it's not just a 5K, it's a book drive, and it starts at 6 a.m. Registration starts at 5 a.m. This is your opportunity to start that exercise journey. Come, dust out that shoes, pull out that jersey. Let's start that exercise journey. From this book drive, we'll be able to provide books and stationery to all the needy people within the Scarborough-Mongrace district. So if you have any extra stationaries, book, pens, pencils, bring it. We'll be meeting right here at the Hugh Donaldson Recreational Ground, formerly known as the Mongrace Recreational Ground. Come and support this initiative.
Small Caribbean islands, we do need to remember that we can't do it individually. The Caribbean needs to work as a whole. From something as simple as pooled procurement of medicine or pooled procurement of equipment, to sharing training, to having centers of excellence in different islands. Working together as one, we can become giants.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Okay. 335, 336, 337, 338, 339.
Counting on your fingers again. No wonder you lose your business.
Grandpa, thanks for helping me start over.
You not lucky in business, you know. As a child, you tried to sell hog plum. That failed. As a teenager, you and your boyfriend tried to break into the jewelry business. But hey, where that boy end up?
He live in Aruka in the Grove. The golden one.
Oh, child, if you want to get into business, you have to have your financial records intact. But do you know your numbers?
Of course, 624 333.
No, child, your numbers, your ratios, your equity ratios. You have a financial handicap.
What?
You need to see somebody about that. Anderson.
Who?
Anderson in Trinidad and Tobago, they offer tax and accounting services. They know about financial management.
Grandpa, I started this business with nothing.
And nothing is what you will end up with unless you call Anderson Services. Here.
Okay, this card is nice.
Yeah.
What's this?
Your rental fee. Have business will pay rent. Hot and groovy in the soca party.
Put a smile on your face moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back. It is still Youth Wednesdays here on the Tobago Updates Morning Show, and in this interview, we are talking education. Joining me, we have representatives from the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies. On my right, we have Mr. Sheldon Salino. He is the officer in charge at the Director's Office, and beside him is Ms. Simone Mitchell, manager of the Tobago campus. Good morning, Mr. Salino and Ms. Mitchell, and welcome to Tobago Update.
Yes, President, good morning. Ms.
Okay. So much of the population, I am sure, has heard of the Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, but not all of us are very privy to knowledge on the role the institution plays in development throughout our country. So give us a brief introduction of the institution.
So, well, one of the things that I must start off by saying is Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies, we celebrate 60 years this year in 2026. Actually, in Tobago, we started in 1998, so we actually celebrating 28 years now in Tobago. We are one of the few tertiary institutions, I think, that have remained with a physical presence in Tobago over the years. From the college's perspective, we offer bachelor's right back to introductory programs. What you could see from the colleges, when you walk into any establishment, any institution, any government office, you would see more than likely a Cipriani graduate sitting there, interacting with you, welcoming you into whatever you need to do in that particular institution. So from that perspective, we have touched the lives of so many individuals, both in Trinidad and in Tobago. Regionally. You walk into a credit union and a trade union, the bank, any one of the government agencies, you would experience a Cipriani graduate. So for the last 60 years, we have made that impact on the lives of individuals.
Yes. So now let's get into the offerings of the institution. And I know that's what our viewers are most excited to hear about, the programs and the areas of study that you guys offer, because we know that certain institutions, they are differentiated by specific factors. We have the Tobago Hospitality and Tourism Institute, which focuses on areas in tourism study and hospitality. So tell us what makes CCLCS different and what are the offerings persons here in Tobago can take advantage of.
Okay, Cipriani College is a labor college. It was established firstly to deal with labor, then we extended it to cooperative. Also, we do HR, human resource management, we do cooperative studies, we do labor studies, we do project management, we do security administration and management, we do emergency management, we also offer introductory classes in all different spheres of life. So our programs run from introductory. If you do not have any O-levels, you can start with the introductory, you move up to the certificate, to the diploma. If you maintain your GPA of 3 to 3.5, then you could skip the associate and go straight into the bachelor's program. Yes. So this gives people who do not have and who don't feel that they have another opportunity, they are given the opportunity to progress in life. So a lot of our students might have started at the introductory level, then they moved up until they got into the bachelor's and they graduated.
Yes, and I'm glad you mentioned and explained the introductory level, because I was about to ask about the diversity of students that attend the college. And even further to that, the course areas that are offered at the institution. Someone may be wondering, they want to partake in some of the areas that you listed, but they are already working a full-time job. Tell us about the demographic of students that attend the institution and the diversity in the areas that are offered and how persons can take advantage of that in terms of timing and their already established engagements.
Okay, so we cater for part-time. We have part-time, 5:30 to 8:30. We have full-time for students who might have just left school and they want to go full-time. So the opportunity is there for people who are working, because we cater for the working class. And because of that, people who are working, they have the opportunity to work and also study. They also have the opportunity to study and then enhance their performance or move from one level in their institution into another.
So, also, I just wanted to add, we are fully accredited by the Accreditation Council of Trinidad and Tobago. And as Ms. Mitchell said, we have from introductory right up to bachelor's. But what is interesting also is that they are stacked, or what we call nested.
Yes.
Meaning when you do your certificate, it's actually the first year of your bachelor's degree. When you move into your associate, it's the second and third year of your bachelor's degree, and then you move into the final year or the final 18 months where you get your bachelor's degree. So at every step of the progression, you can take your certification to your employer and say, hey, I've earned a certificate, I've earned an associate degree, promotion time.
All right. So let's bring it more specific to Tobago. Tell us, what is the general experience like for students who attends the college in the Tobago campus specifically, and tell us where exactly is the campus located for persons who may be wondering.
So we are located at Glen Road, after school, where you see the NEDCO sign. Yes. We are located in that building upstairs. The Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies is located there. The opportunity that it has for students in Tobago, during COVID, we went online because, remember, there were no face-to-face interaction. So with accreditation, they would have given us the opportunity to do both online and face-to-face classes. So we do part online, 51% online, and 49% face-to-face. So the students, they have an opportunity to come in and interact with their lecturer, because they are people learn differently, and there might be people who don't like the online classes. They would prefer to do a face-to-face. So then you have a chance to socialize with your peers that you are only seeing online, but you cannot put a face to a name. So with coming face-to-face, it gives them the opportunity. Also, we have the library, we have the staff, so they could interact with all of us, and they could also put a face to the staff at the Tobago campus.
So it's a hybrid model that we use. And Ms. Mitchell spoke about the in-person services we offer. We offer a host of online support as well to help the students throughout the process. So we have a virtual classroom. So whether you attend classes in person or online, you have that access to that virtual classroom where all the resources will remain throughout your period of study. You have access to digital databases. You have access to a host of other tools that we use in the different academic departments in your course of study.
Yes, and I'm sure that is appreciated by the students very much.
Yes, very much.
So for someone who has heard this interview thus far and has been convinced that they want to attend the college, tell us how they can enroll, because these offerings are very enticing, and it's very clear that the college caters to a wide audience of prospective students. So tell us about the enrollment process.
Okay, the enrollment process is online, but you could also come to the college and you'll be assisted. We would assist you. Well, if you're having a problem getting to upload or getting to the site to do your enrollment, you come to the college, we would assist you. We have computers in the library and also in the office. If you have a laptop, you could walk with it also. So we would assist you in your enrollment process. You walk with, if you have documents, you walk with all your necessary documents. We would scan it, upload it, and do everything for you.
All right. And
yeah, I was also going to add, while we are accredited, we also GATE approved. So funding, you can access the funding if that's an issue. We have funding from GATE, and we also have payment plans to support those students who can't pay the full tuition at the start of the program. So over the life of the program, we provide you that opportunity to access our funding initiatives, and you could take your time and pay the tuition.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I intended to ask you about the tuition rate.
But also, if you are over the age of 50, your GATE doesn't cover you.
All right.
So you would have to do the payment plan and you pay accordingly. So for bachelor's and associate, you pay for the program that you are doing during that semester. So every semester you get a payment plan and you clear that off at the end of the semester. For diploma and certificate, you have a 4-tranche payment plan.
Okay.
So your payment, because it's 1-year programs, your payment would be done in 4 tranches. So we divide it and you have the opportunity to pay at the end of each month until your program finishes.
Students of the college are well accommodated and catered to.
Very much so.
All right, so as we seek to wrap this interview very quickly, I want us to end by you telling us of any specific success stories of students you would like to share, or maybe even the celebrations that you have in store as the college celebrates 28 years
in
Tobago and 60 years nationally.
Sure. So we do have many success stories. As I said, you could walk into any institution in Trinidad and Tobago and you would see a graduate of Cipriani College. I myself attended Cipriani College way back when, and now I'm sitting in the position, in a leadership position in the institution. So that's one testament there, and we have many other stories. I don't want to call the names just to expose their private life, but we have many other stories of individuals that have passed through the college and now sit at the highest level, the highest offices in the public and the private sector. In terms of our 60th anniversary, we have done a number of things already for the year. We actually kicked off the year in January or February with a 5K, both in Trinidad and in Tobago. And most recently this weekend we held a concert in collaboration with the Signal Hill Alumni Choir in Trinidad. So we have a number of activities taking place, webinars, social activities, educational activities, that will be taking place over the next couple months to share with Trinidad and Tobago regarding our 60th anniversary and our 20th anniversary.
And also we have open day in August on the 28th. So we have an open day up at the campus so people could come in. We would have invited various entities. Yes. Many of the entities you would see Cipriani students there. Yes. Because they are saturated throughout the offices and the different departments in Tobago. If you look at USH, when you go into USH and you ask them, they would tell you, I would have attended Cipriani College. I did a bachelor's in USH at Cipriani College, and here I am now. We have people in the HR sections, in the THA. Some people are leads. Then we also have people who did project management, who are project officers, who would have held leadership positions because of what they would have completed. So we are saturated throughout the whole of Tobago and Trinidad. But we would also like people to attend our open day that we have on the 28th. So you'll come and you'll see what the college has to offer, and you'll also enjoy the various entities that we would have invited.
All right, so thank you to Mr. Salino and Ms. Mitchell for joining us this morning. And just share with us very quickly any contact information for the college, your website, social media pages, emails, etc.
Okay, so the website is www.cclcs.edu.tt. The contact number for Tobago is 609-3064. You have extension 231, 232, 233, 234. And 236.
And we have all of the different social media platforms. We have our website. So just Google Cipriani College of Labor and Cooperative Studies and you would see us coming up there.
All right. Thank you both once again for joining us. It was a pleasure to host you, and we wish the institution all the best as you survive 28 more years in Tobago, 60 more years nationally. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having us.
My pleasure. Viewers, that brings us to the end of this interview, but there are still lots more in store for our program this morning, so stay tuned for what we have next. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
Coming up, Barbados kicks off festival season with Crop Over, where you can live like a local. Moments of discovery and joy during Culinary Month in Antigua and Barbuda. Find that hero within you. As these women of vision share their stories of success, Caribbean Passport TV, your guide to what's happening in the region, here on this station.
Welcome to Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, where innovation meets excellence and the service reigns supreme. Our commitment is simple: to provide high-quality, innovative aluminum, vinyl and glass solutions for both commercial and residential spaces. At TGSL, we don't just meet needs, we exceed expectations. Our range includes the finest aluminum cladding options, setting new standards in durability and style. Driven by our passion to elevate, we aim to be the leading supplier in the Caribbean market while retaining our identity as a family-owned business. Because at Tobago Glass Supplies Limited, it's not just about products. It's about relationships, it's about you. Innovation, quality, service. That's Tobago Glass Supplies Limited.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
On the 9th of August, we'll be having our first annual 5K, and it's not just a 5K, it's a book drive, and it starts at 6 a.m. Registration starts at 5 a.m. This is your opportunity to start that exercise journey. Come, dust out that shoes, pull out that jersey. Let's start that exercise journey. From this book drive, we'll be able to provide books and stationery to all the needy people within the Scarborough-Mongrace district. So if you have any extra stationaries, book, pens, pencils, bring it. We'll be meeting right here at the Hugh Donaldson Recreational Ground, formerly known as the Mongrace Recreational Ground. Come and support this initiative.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Viewers, welcome back to the Tobago Updates Morning Show. Thus far, we have had stories of youth leading technological innovative initiatives within their school communities. We have had interviews centered around tertiary education, and now we are concluding our Youth Wednesday segment with an interview that highlights the camp to close off this summer. And joining me to discuss this initiative, we have Ms. Trevicia Phillips. She is the Marketing Officer at the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries, as well as Mrs. Corey's A.Q. Nancis, Technical Advisor at the Division. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to Tobago Updates. Ladies in pink, I will call you this morning. So it's the first time we are seeing and hearing about the Tobago Young Ambassadors Camp, but it's not the first time the division is hosting a summer camp. So tell us what inspired the division to create or elevate the camp experience that you usually offer the children, and what exactly this camp entails this year.
All right, so I think I'll start this morning. So traditionally, the division has hosted what was called a youth summer awareness camp, and it happened early in the July-August vacation. This year, we really just thought it was important to shift gears a bit, make the experience more immersive for young people. We also do not have summer in Trinidad and Tobago. So it is the camp to close off what we are calling Java. We're hopping on that trend, the July-August vacation. I mean, sometimes it's the smallest things that go the longest way. And we really just want younger persons to be more involved in the sector. The reality is many youth do not see it as a viable industry for more reasons than one. But the truth also is that people are a major part of the industry. They are the drivers of the industry. And so it's important for us to capture the younger audiences from as early as possible. So we're starting at 7 for this camp in particular. And the name says it, Young Ambassadors. Our young people must become the custodians and guardians. Our young people must become the owners of tourism. And so, in a nutshell, that is what inspired the change and the refocus. And it's going to be an amazing 3 days for the young people, immersing really in various experiences, learning and otherwise.
All right. And the packed 3 days is well promoted and well highlighted on the flyer. We have interactive workshops, we have cultural experiences ahead for all of these kids to engage in and participate in. So without giving away too much, tell us just a bit about the experiences that they can anticipate.
Okay, so I would start from in the past, you know, we had the COVID-19 pandemic and stuff like that, so it was virtually done with lecture-based sessions and stuff like that. Last year we transitioned back into the physical space since COVID, and it still followed the traditional lecture-based. So, you know, the 7 to 13 year age gap, the attention span is very short, right? So we are focused more into the activity-based, where they can be learning and engaging themselves at the same time. So, you know, just some little sneak peeks. Look forward to cultural performance in dancing, drumming. We may bring back the stilt walking because that was a hit. The antiquities department, a lot of persons don't even know what the word antiquities means. So we want to immerse them in that kind of experience so they can learn their history while having fun. So that's just a sneak peek of what we have to offer. But yeah.
They study too as well. I think that's the most exciting part of the experience for the young persons. And we don't want to be stuck in the traditional. So yes, there are sites and attractions that we know that we're famous for, but we want to take the campers to some of the lesser known places, and we want them to have maybe the St. Pauline experience, food demonstrations as well. So it will be a holistic camp that caters to mind and body. They have a lot of energy to burn, and so the activities are tailored in that way. So we're just looking forward to completing registration this week. Registration ends on Friday. And we're just inviting the parents to sign up. It's the camp to close off July-August vacation, and it's a camp you definitely do not want to miss.
Right. And the camp, of course, is very tourism-centered. It's focused on tourism awareness. There are the cultural experiences. It's going to be filled with interactive learning.
Yes.
But expand for us. Why is it important to introduce all of these things at specifically such a young age, the 7 to 13 age group? And also tell us what plans are there for longevity and sustainability, future and continuous engagements with these children to ensure that they don't just learn these things at one point in time, but they remain and they grow as ambassadors.
All right. So capturing our youth at the earlier ages, we know let's stop brain development, right? I'm no expert, but that's the age where we have most of the absorption and the transformation taking place. So we want to create core memories for our young people as it relates to tourism, culture, antiquities, the creative industry, the orange economy, you name it. We want to start that process. And you've rightly said sustainability is important. Long-term engagement is important. So the vision is not to have a one-off camp annually. We have programs that are designed to engage them throughout the year. They would have activities to do. They would have to engage their colleagues, their peers, their counterparts. Wonderful giveaways and prizes. World Tourism Day happens in September annually. Caribbean Tourism Month is in November annually. And so we are also linking the experience to those months to keep the young people engaged. So that's a focus for us at the Division of Tourism, Antiquities and Creative Industries. This initiative is a part of the Program Coordination Unit, which is what I often say is one of the most outward-facing units of the division. Our youth work is not only centered on that age, but of course we have a youth in tourism program. You are an excellent ambassador, Miss Reigning, Regional Junior Minister of Tourism. And so you have experienced, what we have to offer in that regard. And so as the work continues, we are definitely being more intentional about how we impact young people and how we maintain engagement with them, not just on a one-off basis, but continually. Again, people are the biggest part of this sector. We could do all the work, bring all the flights, improve the infrastructure, the product, everything. But if the people are not sold out for Tobago, we will, not me, run into problems. And so why not start with the youngest people or engage the youngest people as well? Yeah.
All right. And we have but a short time, so we will have to conclude this interview soon. But before we do, I want to ask the marketing officer just to remind us of the important details of the camp for those parents who are like, this is perfect for my child to end their July-August vacation.
Yes.
Tell us when and where it will be held, the registration fee, and how they can secure a spot for their child.
Okay, so the camp's duration is from August 26th to 28th, 2026. The first 2 days will be an in-person day at the Lambo Multi-Purpose Facility, and the third day will culminate as a field study tour or a field trip, as we may see, right? The registration fee is $150. That is inclusive of a jersey, goodie bags, all the interactive sessions, the field trip, stuff like that. And currently, as Mrs. Nancy said, the registration process is currently ongoing and is set to end this Friday, 7th August.
And the spots are filling up fast.
Yes. And you simply go to the division's head office. We have 2 interns set at the ground, both at the ground floor and the second floor. You just go in, you fill the registration form, you pay a fee, and your spot is secured.
The spot is secured. So parents' registration ends on Friday, so get to it. The camp to close off July-August vacation.
Yes, that's right.
Ladies, I want to thank you very much for joining me this morning. It was a pleasure to host you, and we look forward to a lot more of the initiatives that the division has as we develop the young children to be ambassadors for the island.
Thank you.
Viewers, that brings us to the end of our Youth Wednesday segment, and to close off this segment, we want to end with some celebration. We did not include her in the list previously, but of course we want to recognize Miss Nikisha Edwards. Today is her birthday as well, and we hope that today is filled with celebration. We hope that it's a party that you are celebrating in a very fitting way, and that you continue to live a long, prosperous, success-filled life. Happy birthday from the entire Tobago Updates team. All right, so we conclude this morning's Youth Wednesday segment. We had such diverse and exciting discussions this morning, but of course there's a lot more still in store on the Tobago Updates morning show. We have Good Morning Tobago coming up next, so stay tuned. And remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
have heard of this OCS Vacation Employment Program through social media, right? I signed up for the program hoping to be enrolled to get greater insights into the operations of the Office of the Chief Secretary, seeing that this office is essentially the premier office of all the divisions across the Tobago House of Assembly. I hope that at the end of this program I'll be able to gain greater skills that will help me in the long run. Seeing that I would be completing my A-level studies at Bishop's High School just now, going into university pretty soon. I hope that this program will give me the necessary skills and develop me as a young person as I go into university and the world of work.
Remember when July-August vacation finally arrived? It meant freedom. No school, no homework, just fun. Those moments will always be special, but as time change, so do the opportunities. Today, our teenagers can use their vacation to do more than make memories. They can build their future.
We are genuinely excited to have you. Yes, we are truly grateful to host you for the next 2 months of the 2026 Vacation Employment Program. This program promised to be a fulfilling exchange, not just for you, but for us as well. We too will gain valuable experience as public officers from you being here. I have always believed that there is so much power when different generations are open and willing to learn from each other. So I encourage all of us, trainees and public officers alike, to fully embrace this process. And let us be intentional about pouring into one another during this time. Through this initiative by the Office of the Chief Secretary, young Tobagonians are being given an incredible opportunity. Over the next 2 months, you will gain practical experience, and I cannot overstate how important that is, especially when such opportunities are becoming increasingly difficult for young people. Therefore, endeavors such as these play a critical role.
Through the Office of the Chief Secretary Vacation Employment Program, young people are getting a head start into the world of work. They're gaining hands-on experience, developing valuable workplace skills, building confidence, and discovering what it means to be a part of a professional team.
I learned it through a school group chat, where the group chat basically aims in exposing students to things that they can better their skill sets and gain new experiences. And well, in this program, I just hope to gain new experiences and a wider skill set and skill range.
The reason why I applied for this internship is because I enjoy gaining new experiences, learning new things, and strengthening the existing skills that I possess at the moment. And I pay particular attention to detail, and I ensure that while working that everything is done how it needs to be done. I hope to gain new experiences and leave here not leaving as the same person, but coming out as a new, evolved version of myself, equipped for whatever challenges may come my way in different work experiences here on Fort.
I heard about this program through our principal at Signal Hill Secondary School, where she sent it in a group chat that we have that focuses on pushing students to further their education. From this internship, I hope to just gain skills on, how to operate in the workplace, especially as I'm going to finish my tenure at Signal Hill Secondary School, and I'm going to be going into the world of work. So I hope that this opportunity grants me the skills that are necessary to excel in the workplace here.
So while this may not be anything like summer camp, vacation Bible school, or youth community activities, rest assured the future of Tobago is being shaped one young person, one opportunity, one experience at a time.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
It's really a pleasure to welcome all of you to the orientation ceremony for the Tobago Regional Health Authority's 2026 Student Internship Program. This is in fact our 4th annual internship program, and each year it continues to grow in significance. Over the next 8 weeks, from today right up to August the 21st, you will not only observe the work of healthcare, you will experience it, contribute to it, and hopefully be changed by it.
1, don't take this lightly. 2, if you decide that this is not for you, say thank God for the 2 months that has changed your life for better. And 3, develop. Use it to help you develop these core skills that can truly shift your life left or right. With that, I want to encourage each and every one of you to come into this with open hearts and open minds. Enjoy it.
Earning a place in this program is an achievement in itself, and I do not say that lightly. You have been entrusted with a unique opportunity, one that has the potential to shape your personal and professional growth in meaningful ways. I encourage you to approach this experience with enthusiasm, curiosity, and a willingness to learn.
Today we stand before you, not only to share our experiences, but also to reflect on the growth, learning, and invaluable opportunities that this journey has provided. We hope by sharing our story, we can inspire you to embrace every opportunity, challenge yourself, and also make the most of the rewarding experience that lies ahead.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
Seventeen-year-old sixth form student Shania Phillip of Signal Hill Secondary School was declared Tobago's 2026 Junior Secretary of Tourism following an outstanding performance during this year's Tobago Tourism Youth Congress.
To sustainably transform our human capital, we must deploy blockchain micro-credentialing, immersive virtual reality learning hubs, and AI-powered.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
It's a brand new morning.
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Chanel Felix. And guys, you know, whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask those questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting topics and conversations, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Police continue to investigate a violent home invasion over the Emancipation weekend, where 2 armed masked intruders forced their way into the residence of the owner of Pablo's supermarket in Argyle. The assailants bound the owner with an electric cord, stole over $203,000 and escaped on foot. Officers from the Tobago Division urged the public to share any information they may have about the robbery. Additionally, Lambo Credit Union has unveiled its newly elected board of directors and statutory committee members following its 80th annual general meeting held on July 23rd at the Food and Nutrition Cooperative in Canaan. Brian Nurse was elected president, supported by Vice President Jason Caesar, Secretary Vanessa Roberts, and Assistant Secretary Keston Williams. Leadership expressed gratitude to members for participating as the credit union transitions to its new leadership team. And finally, the Minister of Works and Infrastructure, Jillian John, has confirmed that the operational opening of the new terminal at the A&R Robinson International Airport is imminent. Minister John noted that final operational adjustments and civil aviation notices were being finalized ahead of simulated passenger flow exercises. The new facility was designed to expand international capacity, improve regional travel efficiency, and significantly enhance passenger experiences in Tobago. And that was on news in 90 seconds. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning, we're going to give you a quick peek of what's happening out there on the roadways in Tobago. So what we're looking at right now is an overhead shot of the Claude Noel Highway right at the Wilson Road traffic light. And as I told you guys just a few mornings ago, now that school is closed, we see quite a free flow of traffic at these points where at this particular time we'd usually see major pileups happening. You know, if you're used to seeing the traffic reports here, you know that eastbound at this particular traffic light, there's usually a pileup that goes all the way back to the Pentecostal Light and Life High School during this time. And so when we're seeing this type of free flow of traffic, we want you to take advantage of it. I mean, especially at that Plymouth Road there that heads directly into Scarborough. That's usually quite congested going all the way back up to Coast Cutters sometimes at this time of the morning. So until the children are back out to school, guys, take advantage of actually getting to work on time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Good Morning Tobago. And before we even kick off our discussions, we have a clip. So let's go straight to that.
And even if people called me a 1%er, I am not sure that I will engage them in any way.
Have you been called a 1%er?
By many people. Even in the Tobago area space where I am targeted. I will share with you today that is one of the reasons with the chamber that there became a whole uprising in there where I was not the right race to represent the business community in Tobago.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. Now, what we were looking at there, some comments that came from one of the former chairmen of the Tobago division of the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Industry and Commerce, someone that is quite familiar to us here in Tobago. I guess that she was actually here a couple of days ago speaking on that boat issue in Trinidad and Tobago. But this morning, to comment on the comments made by Diane Haddad, we have members of the Tobago division of the Chamber of Industry and Commerce. This one I have the privilege of sitting in studio and chatting with Vice Chairman, Mr. Jason Arthur, as well as, one of our very frequent guests here on Tobago Updates, Mr. Curtis Williams, who's the chairman. Good morning and welcome.
Morning. Good morning.
Now, we've recently had conversations surrounding the seaport and the airport, but what I did not envision is that we'd have to be coming here in Tobago to discuss
comments about race, particularly within the chamber in Tobago. These comments that were made by Diane Haddad very recently, we want to get your take on these comments.
Good morning, Tobago. Good morning to your viewers and listeners. I was looking at the media on that said morning, and I was taken aback at the comments made by the former chairman of the division, Diane Haddad. I know I've been a member of the chamber since 2007. I came back to Tobago in 2006. I joined the chamber in 2007, and I was told that the chamber is of an elite type of people, bunch of people. They're business astute people, very, very serious folks. And when I get there, and the myth that everybody had is that the chamber is this elite bunch of people. When I get there, I realize that that's just a myth. We are just normal, ordinary people, business people operating in Tobago, who are doing business, as we can see. Diane have been there in the chamber as an ordinary member, as myself, for quite some years. She had represented us as the chairman level for almost 8 times. 8 times going back. And I'm kind of moved by that kind of assertion. And I know that the chamber have been in existence for over, if you can see then one of the clips, you will see how old the chamber is, way back. And some folks might be turning in the grave to hear these kind of comments. Mr. Dillon, my good friend, he might be just smiling, because the chamber was built on a lot of profiles, and a profile of inclusiveness. And we in Tobago, we are very inclusive in the way we do business. And we continue doing that at the chamber. And as you can see that, so we were all taken back at those comments, knowing that within the chamber, I see Tobago striving business. And at my tenure, we have encouraged all kind of persons to become members of the chamber. I can tell you the last check, we even have a guy who was in garbage collection as a member of the chamber. We encourage mini-marts, we encourage all and any type of business in Tobago to become members of the chamber. So the chamber is not an elite bunch of people. It's almost anyone who's in business, and you pass the criteria of becoming a member, business established, and you're operating in the Tobago space, could become a member of the chamber. And so I think that kind of a statement was taken aback by all. We all was kind of wondering what's happening there, because nothing of that sort never perceived or happened around us.
Right. And Mr. Williams, tell us, how does one go from being elected as the chairman 8 times to asserting that they can no longer serve or cannot be in leadership or on the leadership committee because of their race? Is there a limit to how many times a person can be the chairman? Is it that Mrs. Haddad expected to reclaim a position as chairman but didn't? Explain to us, how does it drift so far away?
Well, definitely. Well, I'll pass it on to my vice chair to tell you, so that you get some more insight on that one, because that's an interesting conversation, and he will really explain it to you in fine details as to how someone becomes and what the characteristics of them. So I put you on to Jason to answer that one.
We'll take that.
I have another question that I want to get out there, which has to do with why Ms. Haddad resigned. Yeah? You hearing me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if the chair could speak to that. Do you know why Ms. Haddad resigned?
Oh, yes, I can tell you. Diane Haddad have been there in her last term of office started in 2018. And in 2018 onward, Diane continued, and the COVID came in, and in 2020. So it was a rough time for the chamber. We didn't have face-to-face meetings. and the social digital media in treating with meetings was something not too familiar by a lot of us. So we hardly meet, the general membership hardly meet throughout that period of time. And there were a couple of issues that were played on at the office. And those were the things that maybe Diane probably was not happy about, and then she decided to depart from the chamber. But she had been there as chairman for the last 4 years, prior to 2018 right until 2022. I have been the vice chair, so I can tell you I was there. And then she departed, and then there were elections. And I was given the opportunity to lead the chamber from then 2023 onward. So that's basically in a nutshell, and there's nothing of heart-rending, nothing of those remarks, I as far as I could remember, happening at the chamber.
I would love for you guys to put up a graphic on the screen.
Okay. I'm gonna ask my director to put up the graphic of all the persons who would have served.
So if you look at this graphic here, these are the names of everyone who has served as chairman or chairwoman of the chamber for the last however many years. The last year we have there is up to 2024. So we haven't placed the last 2 years, which would be Mr. Curtis Williams. If you take a look, you will see we have 8 arrows there in red. Those were 8 times that Ms. Haddad was the chair of the chamber. And unlike our elections now, which we just changed, where you serve for 2 terms or 2 years per term, what you're seeing there are 8 elections.
Right.
So 8 times Ms. Haddad was elected. There are 2 other arrows there that I want you to look at. 2 white arrows. Demi John Cruikshank was the chair 2 years in a row. I was the vice chair under Demi John Cruikshank in 2016. But I want to point that out for a reason. That 2 years that you're seeing there, Ms. Haddad did not run. Right? She literally gave it up and said, you guys go run. So not only could she have won, if she had run for the election, she is the one who pretty much arranged the election for us to go in the chair as well, in the positions as chair and vice chair. And nothing is wrong with arranging an election, right? You use influence when it comes to elections, right? I have done it before myself. The other thing I want to point out is, I have heard Ms. Haddad say that, you see that name, Wong, that's there twice before her? I heard Ms. Haddad say, at that point in time when Mr. Wong went up for the election, she could have gone, but she said to him, you go first, right? I came after you, you've been working with me or whatever, you go first. I'm pointing that out just to kind of say to you, there are at least 12 years there that I know of where Ms. Haddad could have actually been the president or the chair of the chamber. And so it is very, 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 very strange to me to hear this statement. The other thing I will say is this. In 2023, when Mr. Williams went in, again, Ms. Haddad did not run. So what I'm saying to you is this. Every single time that Ms. Haddad has run for an election in Tobago, she has won.
Understood.
So she does not even have an election loss to bolster her point.
Understood. And why do you think that these are the claims that she's making as it pertains to her relationship with the chamber? She made some racially sensitive statements, and we are already in a sensitive period where there were recent comments by the Prime Minister as it pertains to what she expects to come out of the Independence Day parade. Do you think that Ms. Haddad is kind of playing on already existing sentiments in the public space?
You know, at the end of the day, I could only speculate. This feels more personal than anything else. And the reason why I'm saying it feels more personal, clearly based on the evidence, you have never lost an election. So this idea that you were not fit to lead when you were practically leading the chamber for 12 years doesn't make any sense. So what it says to me is that there's something personal going on, right? Is there racism in Tobago? Sure. Is there racism against Diane Haddad? I'm sure there is. Is there racism against Jason? I've experienced it right here in Tobago, right? But I think there's probably a larger issue, and it's something that Diane and I have spoken about on a number of occasions. Diane has a prickly personality. To some degree, I have a relatively prickly personality, right? I'm very, very straightforward when I speak to people, and some people don't like it. Yes? And guess what? If people don't like that, I understand, because I'm 50 years old and I've lived in the world long enough to understand that people don't necessarily like, that approach per se. And I'm saying that her approach is far more prickly than mine. And so for you to have that particular approach and think that maybe people don't maybe like it because of race, as opposed to, no, I've lived long enough and I know people don't necessarily like that. I don't understand it. Why is your first port of call race?
Right. Mr. Williams, just as Mr. Arthur asserted, there's this tendency of persons, not just in Diane's situation, but when they are faced with any situation where they feel uncomfortable with the public's response to them, that instead of looking inwards and saying, what is it about me that rubs people the wrong way, they tend to try to find what the issue with those people are that would make them feel some type of way about me. So so some of the assertions might be, well, they might be jealous of me, or they think that I'm too rich, or I'm too successful, or whatever sentiments that a person may hold, instead of saying, hey, what is it about me that may be causing persons to react negatively towards me? Do you think that that might be what's happening in this situation?
And Chanel, you might be correct. When I looked at myself into business, I've been here in the 90s, and I started business, real estate, and now I came back in the 20th century and in 2007 and started business in another sphere, and I see a lot of things might be popping up. I worked with Diane. We work on activities, events. I've been to Diane home, working on events. I've been to both homes, both in Tobago and Trinidad. I met Diane's entire family, her mom, her daughter. We work together. We go out social events. And so I sometimes you're really taken aback as to, how these things will really play itself. And just as you alluded to, and sometimes it bothers you to understand that there's a time in life when you just have to give up. You've been there, done that, move on. And I think that sometimes folks have to realize that. I will serve my time. My limit will end next year. There will be an election and my term limit is ended, so I cannot go back. So because I've served my term limit, which was 2 years, and prior to that I served 2 years prior. So it meant that somebody else would be in the chair, and I will give that person all the support that we normally give to each other when we do get in as part of the executive. I will just be the immediate past chairman, and somebody else will take up that role, and we give them all the support. So we in the chamber, we look at the capacity, capability of someone to lead the group going forward, and not whether that person is black, blue, brown, red, or we don't look at color. Color have nothing to do with that. We don't look at the type of business you're doing, because that's not even a criteria. Or we just want to ensure that your leadership style and skills are just what the chamber code of ethics stands for, and the group will elect you accordingly.
Okay.
Could I just
Mr. Arthur, having had such a long run in the chamber, making the different contributions that Ms. Haddad would have made, do you think that these comments made by her kind of sets her back a bit in terms of her history, her legacy on the chamber?
Well, one of the things that we had a meeting some time ago, when I say we, the management committee of the chamber, and we have a new sort of marketing push that we're going to engage in soon. And in the meeting, I remember saying to the members that I believe the chamber has had 2 eras. There's an era before Diane Haddad, there's an era with Diane Haddad, and we are now actually pushing into a different era where we are spearheading a lot of education. But I want to talk about the Diane Haddad era. The reason I said that to them is that Diane put the chamber on the map. Okay? The fact that people always call the chamber now to get opinions and so forth, that is Diane Haddad. Right? You have to give Jack his jacket. I think that those comments yesterday will take away from maybe her esteem. It cannot take away from the work that was done, but it will take away from her esteem, I believe. But more than that, when I listened to those comments yesterday, I remember the first time I saw Ms. Haddad push back on this 1%er comment on a show with Hamid Ghani. She didn't like it, and the reason she didn't like the comment is because it's more of a pejorative, right? The ideas that come up when people say 1% are things like greed, avarice, selfishness, entitlement, or whatever the case may be. And clearly, you would want to push back against that if you feel as though you are being identified that way. My question really is, after people find out how much of a stronghold you had in the chamber and how many times you have been elected, what does that do for your argument about not being somebody who is entitled, not being somebody who is greedy, not being whatever it is you want to call it? Because I don't think after people find out how many times you've been elected, that these comments can fly. I mean, there literally is no credibility in what was said, at least based on the evidence. Right? And that is what I think she's talking about. She's not talking about the fact that somebody went out there and called her a name or whatever. I went to school and people called me nigger before. But when I was in school, if because I was black, I was not getting good grades, that would be an issue. And I think parallel, that's what she's saying here, that it's not just that people feel a particular way about you, it was preventing you from being in the chamber in a particular way. And I'm saying the evidence absolutely doesn't bear that out.
Understood. Even as we move forward, talking about persons getting involved at the chamber level, Chairman Williams, tell us a bit about how persons can get involved, even in the executive. As you indicated, next year there's another elections that's on the horizons. How can persons get involved in the work that you guys are doing?
Well, the elections are fair and open elections. The Constitution or bylaws stated exactly how you become a member, and then at our general meeting, which is our election or AGM, you have been voted onto the management team. The management team comprises of, I think, about 8 persons, and then the management team now will have their election to determine who are going to be the various executive members. But at the election, they will elect the chairman. The chairman and the vice chairman must be a member of the management team in order for them to move forward. Cannot be someone just coming up from the floor that you're just going to come to one meeting and then you automatically become the chairman. No, it don't be like that. It have to be someone who have been there for quite some time, working with the management team. And then the members themselves at the AGM will do the nomination process, and then they will have to be seconded. We do have a nomination process that you can send in the forms before, prior to the election. And then on the election day itself, we will give the opportunity to open the floor, and you can nominate someone as well. But as I indicated, there are bylaws that you must follow as to nominating someone going forward. It's just not, again, that's any and anyone just going forward like that. And the elections are free and fair. And I think that for the past couple of years, we have had that openness in the chamber. I have seen folks, normal folks, people who, or the eliteness that the indicators that the chamber is all about. I don't see any part of me being elite. I've been a hard-working person from since then, as I mentioned to you. I came from ground zero until I put whatever I need to put in place and employ over 200 and something Tobagonians family here. And that's something that I feel proud about. It's not an easy task, and it continues to be a journey. Soon I may go into retirement because I'm of that age. And I think that I will have to look for succession planning so that somebody else will be the one to take over the realm in business as well as in the chamber, as the case may be, because you may want to just sit back now and start to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So those are the things that and the mindset that that I have going forward with our new feature with the chamber, that we're pushing on educating our members, making our members get value for their money, and we advocate for them on various issues throughout Tobago. The last issue was treating with the airport and some other issues treating with bank financing. And now we have the opportunity now that we're trying to get the business community to be in a state of readiness to take advantage of the opportunities that may be coming to them with the advent of the opening of the new terminal building and the Marriott Hotel. And these are the things we want to focus on. Our focus is not whether you're black, white, or tall or short. Our focus is to see you could develop as a business person in Tobago, because we have been neglected for quite some time. And I think the focus of the chamber now is in a real great direction. And I hope the person who continue after me continue focusing on pushing the chamber, giving the members value for their membership.
Excellent. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for being here this morning and giving us some clarity on the positioning of the chamber as it pertains to some of the recent comments that were made. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back with much more conversations after this. See you soon.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise. The energy fill the skies. I say thanks a favor to wake up and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We got beauty, we got power, we are people in the
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, buljoil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
Wait, we are going airport.
Come back this way. Catch you roundabout and go down.
Right here.
Leave on time to be on time.
Today we are here at the new ANR Robinson International Airport, and we are doing a simulation along with the Airport Authority and the TTPS to do some observation for the traffic plan that we have implemented for the opening of the new terminal building. So starting Wednesday, July 22nd, the Division of Public Infrastructure and Transportation along with the TTPS will be at this intersection, and we will be implementing a traffic plan. Just continue around the circle. What is important in this entire traffic arrangement is that if you are coming from Crown Point, you're coming from the west and you want to go further east than the airport terminal, we advise that you either use Milford Road, go onto Silcotton Trace, and use one of the side streets between Milford Road and Tobago Local Road. All traffic between Kilgwin Bay Road and Gaskin Road will be coming west only. So that is one of the important points that we have to get into our systems as we learn to navigate around the new arrangements at the new A&R Robinson International Terminal going forward. But we want to assure you that we will help you to get used to it. We will circulate information. We will be here at the intersections along with the police while you get used to the arrangement to assist you in circulating and to getting to where you need to go safely and quickly. Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning we continue with our conversations and I have the privilege of chatting virtually with Mr. Wendell Eversley, who is an activist here in Trinidad and Tobago. This morning we are talking about some of the high racial tensions that took place in Trinidad and Tobago during the Emancipation Day celebrations. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning and good morning to all you listeners on your program Tobago Updates and those who are listening throughout the Caribbean internationally.
First of all, give us some of your opinions on what we have seen transpiring in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly at the level of some of the comments that we're seeing on social media, some of the events that took place that had influences from the West Indian side. Tell us a bit about that, because we know that the UTT held an emancipation celebration along with the Emancipation Village and all these other things took place, and we saw that there was a Indian performance incorporated into the Emancipation Day celebrations. Now, this would have sparked heated debate online of persons saying that they do not believe that this would have been an appropriate time or place to put that in there. Tell us a bit about some of your views and what has been happening.
Good morning again. Before I go into that, the day of the 36th anniversary of the attempted coup, while I was doing my work from Arima to Port of Spain, my son, who is in Form 4 in Hillview College, came to join me. But before he came to join me, he was telling me, Daddy, the kind of comments I see people saying about you on your walk, and he say it's based on race and it's based on hate. And why would they do something like that? He screenshot it, he showed it to me, and it's coming from a particular race in Trinidad. And if people want to bury their head in the sand, racialism in Trinidad is real. I don't know about Tobago, but in Trinidad, it is real. And when I see something like what the UTT did on African Emancipation Day, leading up to the African Emancipation Day, it's no different what the Indian High Commissioner tried to do on Emancipation Day. If it wasn't the backlash of the social media that caused them to withdraw it, it showed clearly what they was going to do or what their plan was. And also to know that UTT did something like that, I come to the conclusion like if the Indian High Commissioner could not have done it, let me do it in UTT. UTT, the University of the West Indies, where taxpayers of this country funded. Why they didn't do it in UE, in the University of the West Indies? Because they did not. They will not. And it shows clearly, when you look at the composition of the Board of Governors of UTT, I post it up on my Facebook page, and watch at the board, and watch what you mixture of people. And then you ask yourself, where are we heading in Trinidad and Tobago when we know that we say we are a cosmopolitan country with all different races? And I'm not talking about, we're talking about people now who born in Trinidad from different races. But we cannot want to put our country and say that it only belongs to one race now. And then when we look at Emancipation Day, African Emancipation Day, and you want to compare that with Indenture Day, with Indian Indenture Day, how they came to the Caribbean. They came to the Caribbean, yes, with nobody boats, but they were allowed to look out. They were allowed to see land. When our foreparents who journey in that Middle Passage and the condition that they came in our country, they came in the Caribbean, they came in Trinidad and Tobago. I had to thank God for my foreparents who survived it, because if my foreparents didn't survive that, I wouldn't have been here today. And African Emancipation Day is a day that is for Africans. And when you're trying to butter it down, it's so clearly what is your intention. You will not do something like that on Indian Arrival Day. You will not do something like that even for Diwali. Because I remember a former minister, I think it's the Minister of Education, wanted to hold a curfew on Diwali Day, and the backlash she get from the Hindu community that she had to cancel it. And you all must not forget the sari skit at a PNM Sports and Family Day. And now they went in front of the parliament, protests against it. They was even wearing the sari, the Indian wear. And who was there wearing it also too? The Minister of Local Government, Kadisha Aming. And she says an insult to the East Indian because it's their tradition what they bring. And for the PNM to have a sari skit in a Sports and Family Day. So, but they want to play the victim. When anything happens, they want to play the victim. And when we see African Emancipation Day, they're trying to disrespect us and saying, bringing their cultural activities in a day when people run from a plantation. They do, when it was abolished, they run from the plantation. They don't want to have no sort of memories of that day. But that was a day where they was treated harshly. It was a day where we see how African people have been treated. It was a day to show that they was brutalized, they was murdered, the family was separate, the religion was separate. And then you want to come on that day, where is a day for Africans to celebrate, right? Emancipation Day, celebrate how slavery was abolished, and it's a day for us as Africans. We shouldn't be mixing it with other religious activities. This is not this is not Independence Day. It is not Republic Day, where the whole country celebrate independence for the country, independent Republic Day for the country. But African Emancipation Day is for Africans, just as how Indian Arrival Day is for Indian.
Understood.
If you
And
watch
even the comments that were made recently by the Prime Minister, she took to social media to say that she expects that during the independence season that the public or persons within Trinidad and Tobago, particularly PNM persons, would come out and curse her out during that time and call her racial slurs. Do you think that the comments made on her Facebook page kind of contributed negatively towards an already racially tense environment at this time?
More than it come like you lighted a pile of wood, and when you see the fire going down, you throw some gas in it to light it more. So what she's doing is gaslighting. And I sometimes I ask myself the question, right? In 2010, she says, serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. She get her next term between 2025 to now. Who it is really operating her Facebook or her social media platform? Is it her or is it somebody else? We have to ask the question, right? And we have to look at the age of our Prime Minister too. Is the Prime Minister functioning properly? Is her mental state is intact? Because we're talking about taxpayers' money paying a Prime Minister. At the end of the day, he's the Prime Minister for Trinidad and Tobago. At the end of the day, you know the composition of our country. At the end of the day, you know the people who make up of this country. We know that the majority of the people in this country is two major races, African and East Indian. Right? And you, as a Prime Minister, should show that this country should be a country for every single body. When you watch Indian Arrival Day celebration go on recently, and we watch the Prime Minister who going on a boat to try to remind our people how they reach here. And what flag she had in her hand? An Indian flag. What's that properly? The flag of India. Right? And then you come in to say something like this. Sometimes I believe probably the Prime Minister ain't do that. In say those comments, and somebody operating a social media platform, and she knows nothing about it, because in 2010 they say serve the people. This is the first female Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. This is the first female Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago. This is even the first female political leader of her party, and her party also have African people in it. Is it that you sending a message? What message you sending as a Prime Minister? What message you sending for the young children? What message you sending for the students in secondary school? All right, is that we are going to see a country divided, and we must reject these kind of comments. People who make a statement like this, we must reject it. You heard just now, I was watching your program earlier on, what the former president of the chamber said, and you hear the comment for the people who you invited, the current president and other members of the executive. And they're also talking about the same thing. So I want to ask the question, did we see what took place in UTT in Trinidad, in Tobago campus? They will not do something like that, right? Because when you look at the composition of the people in Tobago, it's mostly Africans. 95% of the people are Africans. So in Trinidad now, what they want to do? So whatever they try to do at UTT, is a complete embarrassment. I don't care what nobody say. It was an embarrassment to African people. And I shocked to see that the chairman of the board, Professor Selvin Kojo, who always speaks about black identity, allowed something like that. I'm ashamed, and that's why I call publicly for the board to be, for the whole board to be fired. But you will not see that in Trinidad and Tobago. When you watch the composition of all these state boards, does it look like if we are living in a country called Trinidad and Tobago, where every creed and race find an equal place? When we look at the diversity,
Understood. So even as we round off our discussion this morning, do you believe that the Prime Minister should have come out and simply condemn the statements that were made during the Emancipation Day and try to cause or try to call for a high level of unity among the people?
Yes. And the board must apologize publicly to African people in this country. UTT board, right? And the Prime Minister must watch her language, right? Just know that this is Trinidad and Tobago. This is not India. This is not Africa. This is Trinidad and Tobago, right? And they must also have respect for other people's race, just as how they want us to have respect for their race.
Understood. Well, Mr. Eversley, we want to thank you so much for being on here this morning and giving us some of your comments on some of the heightened racial tensions that have been happening in Trinidad and Tobago, particularly over that past emancipation celebrations, with comments flying left, right, and center, particularly on social media, and those comments that were made by the Prime Minister. And even here on Tobago Updates, we continue to call for a unified Trinidad and Tobago in a society where we can all live together in harmony. So we want to thank you so much for being here this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you for being a part of this morning's conversations. We want to thank you for your likes, your shares, and your comments, and all that you have been doing and continue to do to make Tobago Updates the #1 broadcaster here on the island of Tobago. Again, I'm Chanel Felix, and I'll always encourage you to have a productive day.
Tobago Updates. It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning as the passion start to